So I found out that, yeah, the reason why my videos were ending is because my phone was filling up. So you have quite a bit of room. I've got that long black pillow in the back to keep my head from knocking against from resting against the back doors. It comes in real handy. Like I said, I did have a lady friend in here, believe it or not, for about 3 months, and it's tight with 2 people, but you can do it if you stay super organized. She didn't have a lot of stuff. If you were to turn this into, if you were a couple and you wanted this thing to be your weekend getaway camping van, you each could have one of the suitcases. I better speed things up. I have a couple of, over on this side, I like to just have a couple of pictures to make it kind of homey. You want to have the elbow room off the side of the mattress on both sides. Is kind of important, otherwise it can be tight with 2 people. But with that elbow room, you'll be surprised that you can get 2 people in a twin-sized mattress in this thing, no problem. This particular memory foam mattress isn't, I think the one I had before was a little wider, so fortunately this one is a little bit skinny even, which I like it because it gives me the elbow room. So here's what it looks like in this side. I've got plywood, the thickest plywood that Home Depot had. It's 3/4 inch, I believe, resting on 6 Home Depot buckets. That's the only bucket that's right side up. The other ones are upside down. I don't know if that makes too much difference. It's probably a little more stable that way, but I'm not sure. And they don't move around easily except for this one on the end, because of the weight on them. So you could put stuff inside of them and keep them right side up, but I don't really recommend that because they're really hard to budge with the weight of the bed and the plywood. This is just a little basket that I thought I would put there with another throw blanket. Another blanket here. Now you can see I have shelf space on my plywood, and I'll give you the dimensions, but that shelf comes in handy. Now what keeps this thing from bouncing around, the plywood and the bed, is the well, it looks like the bottom of my suitcase is actually forcing the plywood. I thought it was actually the wheels, because I got the wheels there. I thought the wheels were keeping it in place, and I think originally it was. If I pulled up on this, it would, yeah, but at any rate, it just seems to, the plywood doesn't move around much. Don't ask me why, but that might be part of the reason, is the suitcase just kind of seems to hold it in place. That's what I think. Anyways, it just doesn't move around. The bed doesn't move, the plywood doesn't move. Here's another lightweight blanket underneath the wool blanket, and you want to put blankets here, probably like I do, something to rest your arms on that's soft, but it's up to you. If you prefer to have the shelf, then you could have a shelf. Up on top I have a walking stick, because originally everything I owned was in this van. So even though I have a storage unit now, I'm keeping the walking stick because I like to hang stuff. I got an extension cord there. I'll hang wet towels off of either end of it also. And I got the 2 extension cords hanging from it now. Another one of those hammocks, which didn't get used much, but I got the LED candle there, another one there. Now, how does the whole system work? I don't have anything fixed at this point. I might if I get solar panels, but I just have metal wire up here running along from the holes through these holes in the ribs of the top of the cargo van. Metal wire all the way down both sides. Connected to that are bungee cords and carabiners. This is a little flashlight that I have. I keep my keys on this carabiner at night. You want to be super organized in a van, because if you misplace something, especially keys, it's going to be a hassle. So everything's got to have its place. Got a lantern hanging off of this side. There's my TV, which is really just an 8-inch Samsung tablet. And I've got it jerry-rigged with the cheap carabiners and bungee cord. Oh, bungee cord running through that black thing is actually a shopping bag. It's like a nylon shopping bag that I cut open a hole, fit my tablet into it, got a bungee cord running through the top, and with enough jerry rigging, it's actually angled. It's angled just right, angling downwards towards my head so I can watch TV, and it's big enough because it's close to your head, so it's big enough as a TV. I'll prop this pillow up here, and the other pillow can either go here if I want it lace kitty corner or straight back like this. And I think I already showed you my kitchen. Underneath the laundry basket is some storage, room for some storage in there. And I got a box that I got at the Container Store there. 2 beach chairs on that side. You have to be super duper organized, and you should really, if you can get a storage unit, if you live out of one of these things, or if you use it as a camper, man, you should really just be super organized. And I've got stuff to wash my car with in there. And yeah, it's kind of nice to have, to give it the home touch, and put a few, hang up with these little 3M sticky wall picture hangers. I've got a couple of pictures over here because there is sort of an indentation in the panel on this van, so it's a good spot for it. And like I say, especially even if I didn't have the extra pillow there, you want the elbow room. If there's 2 people in the van, you'll need the elbow room on both sides. That's a twin bed. I'll get you the dimensions of the plywood. It's, believe it or not, it's very cozy. And some people might think, how could you live in something that small? But it's just basically like having a bedroom, and then up front is your office. I mean, you got an office and a bedroom, basically. So, and there's nothing wrong with laying down all day and kicking back and watching YouTube or Netflix or reading or making love if you have a partner or whatever. You will get a lot of romance, by the way, if you 2 people in a twin bed in a small place like this. There's really not much else. It's kind of hard not to snuggle if you've ever tried in a twin bed. It is nice to keep the headroom clear, not to have too much stuff hanging down, so you can change your shirt. You're not going to be hassled when you get up in the morning. I think did I already explain? I have one fan on each side and a gap through my 3 curtains that goes to the front, a gap for airflow. You can't shine a flashlight through. And there's a USB rechargeable fan that uses quite a bit of, it'll drain my battery pretty fast when I charge it. So I think I'm going to have to charge it off of the power inverter. I haven't been using them lately, but when the summer comes, that'll help with the air ventilation. There is another cool thing about these vans that I don't even know if they designed it that way. They might have. Okay, so over here I have my laundry box, which I got at the Container Store. You'll need to use your measuring tape when you buy these things that go underneath, because it's about 13 inches, maybe 13 and a half inches, using the largest Home Depot buckets as the supports. And this is a utility drawer that pulls out that I got from the Container Store. I just have my windshield cover thing on top of that. It's really nice not having it jam-packed with stuff like it used to be, because now I have a storage unit. On this side I've got the other fan, and there's another gap, so the air ventilation can come through, which is important, because if you close, you don't want to sleep with the doors open if you don't think it's safe. So if you crack your windows pretty good, maybe an inch or 2, you got that airflow there. If you can charge up those USB fans, I found those at Walmart. They might not run the whole night, but you could run one at a time if you woke up and it was getting warm. If it's a safe area, you could crack one or both side doors. But what's cool about this, I just discovered, when you open up the back, they got these heavy duty connectors here with these giant metal things. And if you close the door just barely, like the trunk of a car, one click, it actually, nobody can open it. You can't see through it, but there's a crack that allows some ventilation. So you can do that at night safely and get some airflow running from the front cabin to the back, going over your head too. If it's real hot and you're not worried, like during the day, you can prop it open, find a way to prop it open. If it's windy, you can attach 2 carabiners up there to keep it from opening all the way up, which has happened to me, and you get even more airflow. The sides, if you're just loitering or if you're just kicking back at a campsite or something, you can keep them all the way open, one or both, or you can crack them. You can find something to prop them open to. Usually they'll stay open a little bit like that by themselves, or you could prop it open with something larger. So you have the possibility for all of those types of ventilation. If you're really good, you'd probably get a battery-powered fan for the top of the roof and have a ventilation thing up there that nobody can see, a waterproof one with solar panels and a roof rack, but haven't gotten to that yet. If you want to be stealthy about this thing, it's pretty stealthy, and a lot of people won't even guess that anybody's sleeping in it. So if you are in stealth mode, urban camping, that's a huge advantage of a small van, small cargo van. They carry 1,500 pounds, by the way, so it's plenty strong enough to carry all of your stuff in the back. And you could get a hard hat and put it up in the front to make it look like a work truck. That's one of the stealth things that some people do if they're urban camping, if they have to survive in the city and they can't pay rent. Because most cities it's illegal unless you're on commercial property with permission. What else? Probably some other stuff to talk about. The car gets 24 miles to the gallon too. That's another advantage of a small van. It can go through the automated car washes and the parking garages without any trouble. I'm just going to walk around and see if there's anything I've forgot to say. Oh, the suitcases are hanging. I have them hanging off carabiners with chains, but I mean, if I had 2 carabiners, it would have accomplished the same thing. I've probably bought like 30 of those cheap carabiners and maybe 15 of the bungee cords. I don't know, I've gone kind of crazy, but I wanted to keep that blanket tucked up like that. Oh, believe it or not, I have a smoke alarm on the other side. That's probably a little paranoid, but there you go. It's hanging and it has duct tape. I have a smoke alarm over by the microwave in case a fire started. I wouldn't want the smoke to kill me and in here and then have the whole thing catch on fire. I wanted to show you my storage unit. So in my case, since I live in this thing, it's nice for me to just carry around what I really want and need in the car. Keep it super duper organized underneath so it's not a hassle to grab stuff. Over here I have like extra shoes, which isn't a real great place to put extra shoes. I might find another spot, but an umbrella and another pair of shoes. I've got, if I pull out one of these water bottles, I've got 2 other water bottles back there. And then you just see the back end of my, I've got the beach chairs. You see the back end of those, of the drawer and the laundry basket, the other end of the storage. 2 beach chairs, that's where I keep my inverter. And so you can see I don't keep it jam-packed with stuff because it's no fun digging around looking for stuff. And then I just use this thing to go to the bathroom with at night. my plumbing happens to, this is a pretty wide bottle, but my plumbing happens to fit in there. And I'll dump it in a planter. I mean, I'm pretty sure, I mean, one of the types of fertilizer is urea, so I'm assuming they get that from urine. So waste is actually fertilizer as far as I know. Obviously, I can find a public restroom. Used to be able to use my gym to go number 2, but now the gyms are closed because of coronavirus. Has made it difficult. I even have had to locate a public shower in a park. That's been a problem. I got 2 of these water bottles for utility water, just for cleaning out my French press pretty much. And also for taking, sometimes I'll take a washcloth bath while I'm laying down in bed with soap and water. And I've even used Listerine, actually, is like antibacterial. It'll burn a little bit, but not too bad, because I think it's only 20% rubbing alcohol. For a sponge bath to clean myself in the car if it's raining, or if I don't want to take a shower at the public restroom, at the public shower. Then I'll just launder the washcloths. This charger is really best for charging portable devices, either while you're parked, or overnight while you're sleeping, or if you're kicking back loitering. It's only got one of the USB ports, but you could attach 1 or 2 other USB chargers to these outlets here, and you could conceivably charge more devices at once. If I get a 10-foot cable, I can even keep that TV going, that tablet going for a long time, even though it's got a good battery, and keep it charged in while I was watching it if I wanted to. So overnight charging is really great with this thing. Not powerful enough to charge something heavy duty like a microwave, like I said, or a fan. Fans use a lot of electricity. I found out the hard way trying to charge up from this blue Michelin XR or something, a jigger backup battery. It would be nice to get the lithium batteries and some solar panels, and I got a friend who told me he can install multiple alternators, and if I had a fancier setup, then I might be able to get a small fridge. Not really sure where I'm going to put it, but it's possible. And then also a fan would be nice in the summer, either those portable fans or something a little more significant hanging. A regular fan uses a lot of power. Here is my storage unit. I have 2 curtain rods to use as my closet rods to hang clothes with. So I got my clothes so they don't get as wrinkled. SpongeBob shirt I will wear once I lose some weight. I'm on a diet. And then just extra stuff that all this stuff used to be in my van, and you can kind of figure how that's 1 extra box. I used to have 2 of these boxes from the Container Store, the pull-out boxes, but decided I really just wanted 1 so it wasn't as crowded. And these pull-out drawers I had in the back until I really wanted a kitchen back there. They still have junk in them. So my life's a lot easier in the van without having too many drawers and too many boxes and too much stuff. Like you can imagine, I actually had all that jammed in boxes back there. It wasn't fun to take stuff out. This storage unit is pretty darn expensive. However, $70 a month, in fact, for just that small one. But if you compare $70 a month to the rent on an apartment with a closet, so now you can see why I'm doing it. I mean, my stuff is not worth $800 a year, but I use it to justify the savings and not having to pay to rent an apartment. Now I'm actually making monthly payments on this vehicle, so that's partly why. But no matter what your reason would be, I do recommend, if you're going to live in one of these small vans, to get a storage unit, make your life easier. And it's pretty easy to come into. I think they're open between 6 in the morning to 9 at night. Do it yourself. It works just fine. Small tires on these things, they do carry a good 1,500 pounds, no problem. They are no fun on speed bumps or any type of drainage ditch bumps in the middle of the road. So that's like the only disadvantage. Other than that, they drive really well. Just a pain on speed bumps. In fact, sometimes I'll even avoid the speed bumps if I can go around the back of the strip mall. So that's about it on the NV200 Stealth RV. And let me read you the dimensions on the